Dear chosen one, when they suddenly shifted their attention away from you to others, their intention was clear. They wanted you to feel the sting of being overlooked, to question your worth, to chase after the validation they deliberately withheld. You noticed it, didn't you? The calculated way they praised others in your presence, the sudden silence toward your achievements, the subtle comparisons meant to make you doubt yourself. What they never anticipated was how God would use their tactics to elevate you. This is for you who felt the pain but didn't react out of it. You who wondered why people you trusted would try to provoke jealousy in your heart. You who stayed steady when everything in you wanted to prove your worth. God has always protected his chosen ones from weapons, formed through manipulation, jealousy, and games. These attacks may touch your emotions, but they cannot destroy your destiny. If this message speaks to your spirit, click subscribe now to join our Chosen Path community where we uncover God's wisdom for your journey. Today, we'll discover why God allowed this test and how those who dug this pit fell into it themselves. Nothing in your journey happens without divine purpose. God sees every detail of your life, especially when others try to diminish your light. When someone intentionally redirects their attention to make you jealous, God is allowing a profound spiritual test to unfold. This test reveals both their character and yours. Their actions reveal deep insecurity, masked as confidence, a need to control through emotional manipulation, pride disguised as preference wounds. They haven't surrendered to healing. But more importantly, this test reveals what's in your heart. Where is your identity anchored? In the applause of people or the approval of God? When human validation is removed, what remains? God permits these painful moments because he's preparing you for greater responsibility. A leader whose peace can be stolen by someone else's attention isn't ready for the weight of their calling. So, he orchestrated this season where the recognition you deserved went to others. Your contributions were minimized. Your voice seemed to go unheard. Others received the spotlight you earned, not to hurt you, but to heal you from dependency on human validation. If you're watching this and nodding because you've experienced this test, comment, "I'm choosing God's validation" below. Your testimony will encourage others walking through similar valleys. Remember, God didn't allow this test to expose your weakness, but to reveal your worth beyond what others see or say about you. Make no mistake, what you experienced was spiritual warfare. The enemy's oldest strategy is comparison. It began in heaven before creation and continues today. His whispers are always the same. Look at what they have. Notice who they chose instead of you. See how quickly you were replaced? These thoughts aren't random. They're calculated attacks aimed at 4 specific targets. First, your focus. The enemy wants your eyes fixed on others instead of your assignment. Second, your peace. Comparison steals contentment faster than any other weapon. Third, your confidence. When you measure yourself against others, you'll always find reasons to doubt. Fourth, your character. The hope is that rejection will drive you to compromise who you are to regain acceptance. But something powerful happened instead. While they were creating noise to distract you, you created space to hear God. While they were performing for approval, you were praying for perspective. While they were manipulating circumstances, you were mastering your emotions. This is why the enemy is frustrated with you. You didn't take the bait. Every time you chose silence over slander, prayer over payback, and faith over fear, you won a battle you didn't even know you were fighting. Share this video with someone who needs to recognize the spiritual warfare behind their relational challenges. Type "standing firm" in the comments. If you've experienced this warfare and refused to be moved, here's the divine reversal that leaves the enemy confused. The very trap set for you became the downfall of those who set it. When someone uses attention as a weapon, giving it to others to hurt you, they reveal a fundamental misunderstanding of God's kingdom principles. They operate from scarcity, believing attention must be competed for rather than freely given. While they focused on creating an audience for their performance, you were creating depth in your character. While they invested in appearances, you invested in authenticity. While they worked to be seen, you worked to become who God called you to be. And now, something unexpected has occurred. Their strategy has backfired in 3 powerful ways. First, they exposed their own insecurity. Anyone who uses relationships to manipulate others eventually reveals the fragility of their own self-worth. What was meant to showcase their power actually displayed their weakness. Second, they lost credibility with discerning people. Others may not say it openly, but they notice manipulative patterns. The very audience they performed for now questions their authenticity. Third, they forfeited genuine connection with you. In attempting to make you chase them, they lost the authentic relationship they could have had, trading substance for superficial control. Meanwhile, your response of dignity, restraint, and continued excellence spoke volumes without saying a word. Your peace became your power. Your consistency became your credibility. Your resilience became your reputation. Those who truly know their value don't need to make others feel less valuable to feel secure. If this message is ministering to your spirit, hit that like button and subscribe to Chosen Path for more divine insights into your journey. Now, let's explore the mindset that protected you during this test. The Chosen One mindset that sets you apart. Chosen ones understand a truth that transforms how they navigate relationships. You don't compete where God has already confirmed. This mindset separates those who merely survive trials from those who thrive through them. It's the difference between reaction and response, between defense and destiny. When you know who you are in God, you don't fight for position. You function in purpose. You don't chase attention. You cultivate anointing. You don't demand recognition. You deliver results. You don't seek validation. You serve with excellence. Jesus exemplified this perfectly. When rejected in his hometown, overlooked by religious leaders, or betrayed by close followers, he never abandoned his mission to prove his worth. He remained connected to the Father's voice rather than distracted by human voices. This is the grace he offers you now. The Chosen One mindset recognizes that God's economy works differently than the world's. In God's kingdom, promotion comes through patience, not pushing. Influence flows from integrity, not impression. Authority is granted through faithfulness, not forcefulness. Favor follows humility, not self-promotion. When others try to provoke jealousy in you, they're inviting you to step down from your calling into competition. But competition is the confession of inferiority, and you were not created to compete with those you were called to complete. Your assignment is too significant to be sidetracked by someone else's insecurity. Your purpose is too precious to be poisoned by comparison. Your calling is too consequential to be compromised by competition. Take a moment to reflect. Are you still trying to prove your worth to those who couldn't recognize it? Type "released" in the comments if you're ready to let go of that burden and fully embrace your chosen identity. Let's move from revelation to application with 5 practical steps to rise above manipulation and thrive in your purpose. First, guard your heart with boundaries. When someone repeatedly uses attention as manipulation, limit your emotional investment. This isn't unforgiveness. It's wise stewardship of your peace. Create healthy distance without creating offense. Second, redirect your focus with intention. Every time thoughts of comparison arise, consciously turn your attention to gratitude for your own journey. This rewires your mind from lack to abundance, from what others have to what God has given you. Third, refuse the urge to explain yourself. When manipulation doesn't work, its authors often demand explanations for your peace. Remember, not every accusation requires a defense. Not every criticism deserves clarification. Your growth is evidence enough. Fourth, Invest in authentic connections. While some relationships were revealed as conditional, others stand ready to offer genuine support. Identify those who celebrate you without agenda and value you without comparison. These connections deserve your time and trust. Fifth, maintain excellence regardless of recognition. Continue producing your best work, speaking truth, and living with integrity, not for human approval, but as worship to God. Excellence maintained in obscurity becomes undeniable in opportunity. The ultimate response to manipulation isn't retaliation, but elevation, rising to a level where games no longer reach you. Ask yourself daily, am I responding from reaction or revelation, from hurt or healing, from pain or purpose? If this guidance helps you navigate difficult relationships, subscribe to Chosen Path and share this video with someone caught in comparison. Your testimony could be their breakthrough. Now, let's understand why this season of being overlooked was actually your preparation for promotion. The season where attention was withheld from you wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Your hidden time serves divine purposes that only become clear in retrospect. Consider Joseph, who spent years forgotten in prison before becoming second in command of Egypt. Or David, who was overlooked at his own anointing ceremony before becoming king. Your time of being unnoticed is building. Depth that can only form in solitude. Resilience that only develops under pressure. Discernment that only sharpens through testing. Character that only strengthens when no one is watching. What feels like rejection is often God's protection from premature elevation. Promotion without preparation leads to destruction. While attention was focused elsewhere, God was focused entirely on you, removing what couldn't go where He's taking you, reinforcing what would be required for your next level. The same hands that withheld human recognition were actually shielding you from distractions that would have delayed your destiny. Your breakthrough isn't running late. You're right on divine schedule. The attention diverted from you didn't diminish your anointing. It distilled it. If you're in this season now, comment, embracing preparation, to declare your cooperation with what God is building in your hidden time. Consider how this principle has transformed lives across generations. A gifted team member was consistently overlooked for promotion while others received recognition. Instead of becoming bitter, she refined her skills and character. Years later, she was selected for a position far beyond what she originally sought, while those who had been promoted prematurely struggled with responsibilities they weren't prepared for. A ministry leader watched as his innovative ideas were attributed to others. Rather than fighting for credit, he continued creating with excellence. Eventually, his consistent fruit could not be denied, and his influence expanded beyond what platform seeking would have achieved. A creative whose work was repeatedly passed over maintained quality and faith. The very rejection that could have ended their journey became the redirection that led to unprecedented opportunities. These stories share a common thread. What looked like oversight became the setup for God's comeback story. Has God turned your rejection into redirection? Share your testimony in the comments below. Hear this prophetic word. Your season of being overlooked is ending. God has seen every tear you've cried in private. He's recorded every moment you chose, character over compromise. He's witnessed every time you celebrated others while your own heart was breaking. Nothing is wasted in God's economy. Not your pain, not your patience, not your perseverance. What they intended as your diminishment, God designated as your development. The attention withheld from you hasn't hindered your progress. It has heightened your preparation. God is about to bring you into rooms where your gifts will be recognized, your voice will be valued, and your wisdom will be sought after. The very people who tried to make you jealous will be amazed at how God elevated you despite their efforts. Your vindication isn't coming from human hands, but from heavenly honor. Stand firm in your calling. Remain rooted in truth. Your time of divine visibility is approaching faster than you realize. Dear chosen one, their plan backfired in the most beautiful way. They gave attention to others hoping to make you insecure, but instead God used it to make you unshakable. They tried to provoke jealousy, but produced maturity. They intended to create dependency, but developed your authority. They meant to cause pain, but God used it for promotion. And now, you stand not as a victim of a manipulation, but as a victor through transformation. Not desperate for their validation, but deeply anchored in divine affirmation. This is the inheritance of those who trust God's process, even when they don't understand His plan. If this message has strengthened your spirit today, take 3 actions. First, subscribe to Chosen Path for more divine guidance on your journey. Hit that notification bell to ensure you never miss our uploads. Second, share this video with someone struggling with feeling overlooked or manipulated. Your share could be their lifeline. Third, comment "Chosen for Purpose" to declare your commitment to the calling God has placed on your life. Remember, you don't need to compete for what God has confirmed. You don't need to chase what's already yours. You don't need to prove what God has already approved. Stay in your divine lane. Your blessing is on its way.